Big shocker. What's next? Fucking Kmart?
Big shocker.
How is Kmart still in business? This is bullshit.
Let's not worry about Kmart. Let me tell my story now. I feel left out.
Sorry, we got on a tangent.
All right. Should I tell mine in a sexy voice too?
You do whatever you have to do to cover your own ass. How's that sound?
Okay, I'm just going to talk in my normal voice.
Okay, that's fine.
When I was a kid, my grandparents used to, actually my great-grandparents, and for people who don't know what that is, it was my mother's mother's parents. They would take me to Chuck E. Cheese, which happened to be next to an OTB, and for people who don't know what that is, it's called off-track betting, and it's where old people go to watch horses race on TV and bet.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So what they would do is they would take me to Chuck E. Cheese, then we'd go to OTB, and I would wait for them. They'd be watching their horse races. Then they'd take me across the street, and guess what was across the street? Toys R Us. And sometimes they take me to Toys R Us first, which would be even better, because then I could get a toy, and then we could go over to OTB, and then I would go under the bench, and I would just play with my toys under the bench. And basically, most of my childhood was just my grandparents, like, basically taking me to Toys R Us and buying me some Ninja Turtles, and me banging those motherfuckers together while horses race on TVs.
I didn't know where you were going to go with banging when you said banging, but yes, that's
just.
It's a good memory, though. Those are really good.
It
memories.
is a good memory. It is actually a very fond memory.
I mean, I remember like a lot of the brick and mortar stores that we used to go to are out of business now. I used to have fun riding my bike with my buddies to the neighborhood Blockbuster and just like see what they had for like $1 or $2, and then we could like with our allowance money buy like a movie or something, and go hang out and watch it. Those are good fucking times. You can't do that anymore.
Those days are gone, man. They used to, we would go rent movies. They'd have the Friday night special. You get like 4 sodas for the family and 2 packs of like microwavable popcorn and 2 rentals or something like that. And it was just fun. Everyone went and fought over what we were going to rent, and we'd go home and we'd watch them whether we wanted to or not. It was great.
I mean, shit sucks, bro. Shit sucks now. But I mean, how is Kmart still in fucking business?
I don't know why Kmart's in business. Let's move on to video games. We got our little reminiscent out of the way.
That was a good conversation, even though it was not video game related. It somewhat was.
It was nice to look back on those days, and I might stop into Toys R Us one more time before they finally go out.
I might do the same, and I encourage all listeners to do the same. Then go buy a Dragon Ball Z figure.
Maybe buy a Dragon Ball Z figure. I'm sure that they have plenty. So let's stay a little bit on the topic that we were on before with the Genesis Classic. So we've had a NES Classic, we have an SNES Classic. We can only assume that Nintendo's going to continue that trend.
Yeah, I think
personally,
I thought they had already trademarked a 64 Classic like last
really?
year. I believe I read that somewhere on the interwebs.
I did not hear about that. That would be great. But I think that they would. Well, I mean, 64 came out quite a while ago at this point. I mean, it's been over 20 years now, right?
For 64, yeah, it was 95, I believe.
Yeah. So I would say that they'd be on par to do that. But what about a Game Boy Classic?
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I feel like 3DS is about to probably be phased out in the next. I'm not saying right away, but in the next 5 years, you'll only have like a Switch-based console, and that's what Nintendo will put all their funds into. And it's because it's essentially where the 3DS would have gone in the next phase. And all I'm trying to say is they won't have those like handhelds anymore, as opposed to like being a system like Switch. So I could absolutely see a Game Boy Classic coming out but they would literally have to do hundreds of games to make that worthwhile, because those are smaller, less AAA titles for back in the day, if you will.
Well, what if it was portable?
Well, no, of course it needs to be. I assume it's going to be portable, but I mean, if you have the portability of like if Switch goes to what the Wii U had with the Virtual Console, then it's almost like you're going to already have it on the Switch. So this would need to be a lot more portable, a lot less costly than the Switch, because or else they could just put all those games on a virtual store.
That's true.
Like if they do that,
but you could also say the same for the NES and the SNES. But I think what they're going to do to separate them is I think that the Virtual Console, because they've already mentioned this, they're going to have all this online, connectivity. They're probably going to have leaderboards. They might even have like online like competition or playability or added multiplayer on a lot of these games. So I think all in all, whether they put this stuff on a classic or not, and then whether they put it on a virtual console or not, I think that they're going to make it worth it to buy both of them.
Yeah, I know you're right. Oh, and real quick, did you say both or both just now? It's hard to hear. Okay, it's hard to hear you because the mic is so shitty. So I just want to
make sure sounds like I'm talking through a tin can.
You don't have to put down tin cans like that. Those are like where a lot of people ate out of back in the day, and and whenever the end of the world happens,
you're right.
Yeah. Okay. We don't need to dwell on that. Going back to if there's going to be an N64 classic, there was a trademark that Nintendo had made that suggests, that it was Nintendo last July filed 4 trademarks with the EU. I guess you have to file trademarks in the EU. I don't know. But there was a 2D graphical representation of the Nintendo 64 controller on it.
All right.
On one of them. So that's what they're thinking could possibly be teasing that.
I can get down with that.
Yeah, me too. I will say that I can be the researcher, Fred. Here, I'm just saying, don't freak out.
It's okay.
I will find what you need, and also just to put more fuel to the fire of N64 Classic. The same trademark had a controller of the NES Classic and the SNES whenever they had done the trademarks for those 2 consoles.
So maybe that's where we're going next.
And then from there, are you think they're going to do a GameCube?
Maybe
that had to be the last one though. Like they couldn't then they're not gonna do a fucking mini Wii. I mean that's just not gonna happen. Like they would just put those games on a virtual, console.
Yeah, at this point, I mean, because games like Mario Galaxy, Mario Galaxy 2, they can still sell those individually.
Exactly.
But I think that N64 is totally possible, and Game Boy Classics, and we can't forget about that. So I think they can stretch that out for another 5 years or so, and then who knows, maybe they'll do a Wii Classic, but that's probably something that's another 10 or 15 years down the line.
I agree. Yeah, and that's fine. We can handle that whenever the time comes, right?
We sure can. Let's see, what else do we have on the agenda? What do you have on your end?
Okay, so there's a game, Warhammer. You know the game Warhammer?
I do.
This Vermintide 2? I think.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Is it coming out soon? Is it already out? Is it coming out?
I believe it's already out.
Because here's the thing: people are comparing this game to Left 4 Dead. Whenever I associated Warhammer was an RTS. I believe I'm just a fucking idiot though.
Yeah.
And this is a spinoff. Is it not?
I thought that Vermintide was an RTS.
That's what I thought when I first heard it got announced. Apparently, it is an action first-person shooter multiplayer game. Or not even really, I'd say FPS, but first-person multiplayer game. I think you use more, different weapons and shit. Literally, it's a game, experienced in first-person, set in the universe of Warhammer, and you battle cooperatively against the Chaos Army, and there's some ratmen that you... Fucking ratmen. What the fuck? With a bunch of splinters?
Ratmen. Yeah, I was going to say, what is this...
You can play as 5... Yeah, you play as 5 different characters, and they're divided into 15 different careers with a set of skills and shit. So, essentially, people are comparing it to Left 4 Dead.
That's interesting.
That's crazy to me.
Let me take a second to Google this for one.
Yeah, no problem. So, here's the thing. I guess, I'm not the most knowledgeable gamer. I will admit that wholeheartedly right now. So I was not really aware of this Vermintide. I remember seeing trailers, but it looked like I either thought it was a Warhammer expansion, or I thought if it was a Warhammer spinoff, if there was any thought of that in my mind when I was watching the trailer half-ass as an ad sometime on YouTube, I probably just thought, oh, this is some bullshit spinoff game that's gonna suck.
Well, they're sort of pulling like a Warcraft with this. World of Warcraft. Originally, Warcraft was an RTS as well, and then I'm sure that a lot of people at first were like, wait a minute, this doesn't remind me of Warcraft at all.
Yeah, but although I mean, I'm not going to start at all to say Vermintide is at all what
What
Blizzard
Warcraft?
was going for. Yeah, exactly. Because World of Warcraft was the next they didn't keep making RTS Warcraft games. They went to the MMO route. That was where Blizzard took the series. They're not taking this is just a spinoff. I from everything I've seen, they're still going to have RTS Warhammer games.
Well, this is part 2, though. I mean, it seems like the first one was
it's a spinoff franchise. Yeah,
it was well received, and this one's now being very well received. And from the looks of the trailer, I mean, this is a game that I might even play, but I'm not sure if I would buy it at full price.
Yeah, and it's just because there's so much saturation.
There's just so much that I'm already playing. Yeah, and it's not that it's not worth it by any means. Just,
Yeah, I know. I mean, here's another thing. I mean, like that Burnout fucking Paradise, that remastered that I saw just recently came out. I'm like, that's a game I would love to play, but I'm not gonna spend like the 40. Is it the $40? Is that how much it is? I think it's like $40, which is fine, but I don't think it's worth it for me right now.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I mean, we have plenty to play right now. I'm sure that by the time we get around to it, there's going to be price drops and sales, and the holiday season's coming up, but also by then, Smash is going to be
out. It is the beginning of March. Holiday season coming up.
March holiday.
What the fuck?
What March holiday? No, I'm saying
it is the middle of March. It's not like the holiday season's anywhere close.
I'm saying by the time we would even come around to be like, okay, like I got through all my games for the year. I'm going to now pick up Vermintide 2 or I'm going to pick up Burnout. It's going to be holiday season. But
yeah, I agree.
When holiday season comes around, Smash is going to be coming out, among other things. So
yeah, you're right. Well, maybe in the summer when nothing's coming out, maybe that's a good time. It might be on sale for like $30 or something.
Yeah, hopefully. We'll see.
I mean, I had hours of fun playing it in college.
I've played so much Burnout in my life, and I love that game.
Yeah. So. I will say, it looks like Warhammer's is it only $25?
No way.
No, I don't know. Price. Let me look up the price because, like, again, I just found out about this fucking thing. Oh, it's literally. Wait, this is called End Times Vermintide. It's saying that's listed for $20, but no. Tell me how much.
Warhammer Vermintide 2. It says 16. It says 16. Oh, that's DLC.
Yeah, this is confusing me on Steam's site just because.
$29.99.
Okay, here it is. Yeah, $29. Okay, so $30.
That's not bad.
That's not terrible at all.
No.
Again, though, I have so much I'm playing right now. I can't justify paying for that. You know what I bought?
What did you buy?
It might have been a drunk purchase. Don't fault me for it. On PlayStation, I've yet to even play it. I need to play it. I just recently got it though. Shadow of the Colossus.
Oh, dude.
I know. That's like one of your favorite games.
Yeah. Have you played that game?
I played the remastered and I got through 3 bosses, I believe.
Okay. Well,
it was great. It took me so much time to dedicate because I was like, okay, if I'm going to start this boss, I'm going to finish it.
Right.
I would just lose night. I would lose a night, and I'm like, fuck.
Oh, that game! I have so many fond memories of playing that game, and I think I've probably gone through it. I don't know, countless times.
You're gonna buy the fucking remaster at some point. I know you are.
I will buy the remaster at some point.
I guess they don't call it a remaster. They actually just redid the game. Is what they're saying.
Yeah. The only reason I haven't bought it is because I just know I'm not going to get to it right now. But when I'm ready, it's not going anywhere. It'll be there when I'm ready for it. So.
Yeah. So those are like the I would think that the reason I brought up both Burnout and Warhammer is those are games that were somewhat on my radar that I was aware of them coming out, but I didn't realize they were already like pretty much out this week, if not already out last week. I think Warhammer is already out. So that's crazy to me. They just kind of snuck up on us. I remember them announcing Burnout, but that was only like a month and a half, 2 months ago. So I'm surprised it's already out.
Yeah. Well,
but we do have those 2 games we talked about last episode, Far Cry 5 and Sea of Thieves coming out this month. That I'm curious to see what before I buy. I'm going to buy one game in the next like 4 weeks, but I want to know which of those probably four I should purchase.
We need to talk because we should both probably